Podcast ini bisa disimak di kbrprime.id dan platform podcast lainnya.
Come and hear the words they say. Are you bi or are you gay? Oh, how I thought you were straight. What a pity, such a shame. You both look so feminine. Don't you miss it with a man? With two girls, how does that work? 'Cause I can always be your third.
Itu tadi So Hard, lagu dari Mata yang kali pertama dirilis pada bulan Juni kemarin, bertepatan dengan Pride Month. Pernah ada yang bertanya ke saya itu tipikal orang yang demen lagu yang liriknya sederhana tapi dalam artinya atau enggak? Mungkin sih, itu jawaban saya. Ngomong-ngomong perkara lirik lagu So Hard tadi gampang nyantol di kepala. Kali pertama saya dengar senyum-senyum sendiri sebenarnya gitu ya. Lagu itu renyah tapi nggak berarti ringan artinya. Nah, kali ini saya bakal ngobrol bareng sang empunya lagu, Mata. Anda mendengarkan Love Buzz bersama saya, Asrul Dwi.
Love Buzz, membicarakan perkara yang tidak dibicarakan ketika berbicara perkara cinta.
Di Instagram ada foto bareng Nico Tortorella.
Iya, dan
Bethany
C. Myers.
Aha, his wife, right?
They go by they, dua-duanya go by they,
okay.
they, them. So, jadi in bahasa Indonesia, kan we use dia, which is gender neutral, thank goodness. In Indonesian, it's just dia, I think.
Atau they, mereka.
Nggak usah untuk bahasa Indonesia. Karena English doesn't have gender neutral singular pronoun.
Ketemu mereka di acara apa kemarin ya?
Di acara Foundation CKN, Cita Rasa Kuliner Nusantara Foundation, ada gala di Grand Hyatt. Iya.
Okay, it's just like dinner party?
It was a dinner party and a show. Tapi they were there, including Alex Landy. He is on Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy, yeah.
Yeah. He plays an openly gay doctor on Grey's Anatomy and is quite amazing to be representation of Asian actors in Hollywood. Kan jarang lihat orang Asian in like Hollywood.
Yeah, that's true though.
Meeting them, both of them are really sweet. Both of them are super nice and have been such great representatives, especially of the non-binary aspect of the LGBTQ community. In fact, representing that within a coupling of two people, it's really important to showcase that, especially as someone who plays mostly cisgender men on TV.
Younger, right? I think
younger than like Scream 4.
I haven't watched Scream though.
It's pretty great.
Not my kind of movie.
No, okay.
Gimana kamu kemarin selebrasi Pride?
Oh, Pride. Saya merayakan Pride di New York City. Saya mengikut March at the World Pride event dan peringatan 50 tahun of the Stonewall riots, So it was really fun, really happy time. Ada 6 juta orang yang went to the event. And then semuanya just so loving, so supportive. Saya cuma lihat mungkin 5 protesters. Itu saja out of 6 million people. They're against rainbow capitalism.
Pernah nggak sih mikir bikin acara yang serupa gitu, Pride di Indonesia atau di Jakarta? Timor Leste punya Pride loh.
Iya, kan Timor Leste is very, very liberal, especially in comparison to Indonesia. Saya mau, tapi kebanyakan orang bilang nggak boleh. Susah, unless I want to die, unless I want to be threatened, unless I want to be put in jail, or my family threatened. But I want to do that. I want to create a Pride in Jakarta, in Bali, in Surabaya, in every popular and city in Indonesia to represent and to bring awareness to the community. Karena saya pikir that a lot of the issues people have with orang LGBT di Indonesia adalah karena most people don't know people in the LGBTQ community. Mereka nggak pikir kami orang. Mereka pikir we are sin, we are nafsu. Itu aja karena belum ketemu sama someone who is out, someone who is open, and someone who will speak about this love.
Tinggal di Bali, tapi kemudian sekarang di Jakarta untuk visit aja kan?
Iya.
Bali kayak ngerasa lebih amankah gitu daripada di Jakarta?
in terms of expressing your sexuality and stuff?
Iya, jauh lebih like nyaman di situ rasanya karena there are other people, orang Indonesia juga yang are public about their sexualitas di Bali saja. Biasanya sama keluarganya di Jakarta, di mana-mana, they're still in the closet. Tapi di Bali, they're okay being out. So I like living in Bali karena I can feel like there's a komunitas, nggak usah hide all the time. I can be public with my love. And I have never really hid my sexuality, even in Jakarta. But over there, there's support. Ada orang asing yang expatriates that open restaurants, and they're in the community as well. Ada banyak orang di situ, dan orang Bali, biasanya they don't say anything. They're kind of neutral.
Meskipun agamanya sangat kuat kan di sana, Bali.
Iya, kuat.
Hinduism. Menerima gitu ya?
Lebih menerima. Kalau orang Bali, biasanya juga susah kalau they are LGBT, tapi nggak ada violence kayak di Aceh.
Atau daerah lain di Indonesia ya. Kan lama tinggal di Amerika ya. Memutuskan untuk kembali di Indonesia, tempat yang kita tahu dan kita mengerti lebih susah gitu untuk mengekspresikan diri sebebas-bebasnya gitu.
Saya memilih untuk tinggal di Indonesia karena peluangnya tidak terbatas di sini. Dan Indonesia perlu a lot of work towards perlakuan adil untuk komunitas LGBTQ, baik dalam budaya maupun dalam hukum. So I'm here because I can make a bigger difference di sini. I want to make a difference. Saya dikasihkan oportunitas, of being able to live in either Indonesia atau Amerika. And in that opportunity, di sini saya bisa bikin difference yang bisa bikin berubah in the government, in the way socially we look at the LGBTQ community. I want to make this country better in that regard. It's tanah airku juga.
Did you consider yourself as Indonesian or American Indonesian or like Indonesian? Can you elaborate about it? Kamu tinggal di Amerika dan tumbuh besar di sana gitu. There should be a tension in within yourself regarding your identity. Are you an American or Indonesian or something like that?
Susah kan kalau saya pergi ke Amerika, orang Amerika nggak pikir saya orang Amerika. Sesudah saya balik ke Indonesia, orang Indonesia bilang, oh saya orang asing. Jadi saya pilih, I am an Indonesian person. I am an Indonesian citizen, and I love this country and the unique cultures and the unique traditions that it has. I love all 17,000 islands and all the islands I've personally seen. It is a rich country with a lot of depth and a lot of growth that it's doing right now, and it's where I call home.
2011 pindah ke Indonesia untuk kali pertama gitu. If you talk about LGBTIQ plus issues and stuff, what do you see?
Kurang tahu sih, karena I moved when saya pindah, sehingga saya pindah saya hanya 14 tahun. Iya, saya masih, anak kecil. ABG. So I wasn't really paying attention to that. Sebenarnya at that age, at that time, I was mostly focused on my own identitas, figuring it out who I am. I wasn't paying attention at that time to what the rest of the country was looking like. Now that I have, though, in retrospect, I see that there is the implementation of certain laws that are working against the LGBTQ community, despite the fact the rest of the world is slowly growing better about it. Jadi, when I compare it to the rest of the world, I feel like Indonesia is sliding back atau staying still, nggak moving forward.
Sulit nggak sih ngelihat hal-hal semacam itu gitu terjadi di Indonesia gitu?
Susah sekali, it's so heartbreaking. Karena the people that it's affecting are Indonesian people that just want to love. Hanya mau cinta aja, Tapi we're treated as if it is a sin. Kalau seperti kami nafsu, we are just bad people. That we are bad for the country, bad for the identitasnya Indonesia, and that's not true. Indonesia is a diverse culture. We have so many different religions, so many people, so many languages, and also so many sexualities.
Yeah.
Tapi mereka, they want to erase that part.
Because of history, people tend to forget about it, right?
People forget about it, and people want to ignore it karena it makes them uncomfortable, but it shouldn't.
Maybe it's only because something that they don't know.
Iya,
right?
Kebanyakan it's just from ignorance, People don't know anyone that's openly LGBT. Jarang ada orang yang very open about it. I was told that I'm the only openly LGBT musician sekarang.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how are we supposed to make them realize that we aren't bad people unless there are more of us that are out? And it's susah karena ada banyak risiko kalau you come out in Indonesia. You can lose your job, you can be kicked out of your family, you can be beaten up. Some parts you can even maybe go to jail or be physically punished. So I have the opportunity where I have an accepting family and I've created a community karena I am able to connect with the international community and I have all this leverage to be out and to be like, this is what it is. I am a human as well. Saya juga orang Indonesia and I just want to love like you do.
Pernah mengalami diskriminasi nggak sih selama di Indonesia, especially when you work as a musician? Karena kita tahu Indonesian media or like TV station, there's a certain laws or rules that you cannot really talk about it. Even like if a guy dresses a girl, they're not allowed to do that in TV anymore.
Have I faced discrimination?
Yeah.
Not by the media, di Indonesia, tapi by like people commenting on my newest music video, especially. Waduh, it was heavy.
Yeah, ada death threat juga ya?
Iya, a few.
Oh my God.
Tapi ada banyak like surat kebencian. Just saying really, they were trying to get under my skin. They were trying to offend me. I'd laugh it off.
Just like your song, right?
Yeah, harus. You know, you have to be lighthearted. If you take it too seriously, they continue to do it. And if you show them lightheartedness, then they realize that their words have no effect. Tapi, you know, the things they say are ridiculous.
So, is that the intention or your approach ketika menulis lagu So Hard itu? Memang diniatkan jadi lagu yang lighthearted gitu supaya yang dengerin juga gampang mengerti in a way.
Iya, kan itu sengaja, you know, topiknya serius, isunya serius. Tapi ketika saya berbicara tentang subjek serius dengan tujuan untuk mendapatkan respect, pengalaman saya adalah it's like best and most successful kalau saya membuat orang tersenyum dan tertawa. Kebanyakan orang mengatakan hal-hal ini karena ketidaktahuan. Saya tidak berpikir mereka bermaksud yang like intentional to offend. Mereka hanya tidak melihat di luar lingkup heteronormativitas. And when we get them to see that in a lighthearted way, where they don't feel like I'm attacking them, itu invites respect daripada forces them to try to respect me.
Because itu yang biasanya mereka lakukan gitu kan, memaksa. For you to act a certain way, right?
Iya, saya nggak mau memaksa mereka to accept me. I want to invite them. Jadi mereka pilih to respect me.
Kalau respon, kebanyakan pendengar Indonesia mungkin belum terlalu banyak kali ya?
Enggak, sekarang lebih banyak orang Indonesia. Mayoritas,
sekarang udah ya?
Iya.
Respon mereka gimana?
Tergantung.
Selain yang death threat dan...
tergantung. There's some very open and respectful people that said like, oh wow, it's beautiful to see, things like that. Dan juga ada yang bilang, oh, binatang lebih baik dari yang seperti ini.
Wow.
Iya, atau you know, oh menyedihkan sekali penyakitmu. I was even called sampah by someone from Aceh, you know. So there are parts where I feel a lot of support in the Indonesian community. Mungkin they're just not commenting karena it's public. Tapi juga ada yang orang Indonesia yang bilang, oh makasih, you know, this is beautiful, things like that.
How did you balance though? For sure you want to reach out to people as broad as you can, but in the other hand, you have to be safe, you know?
Yeah.
In Indonesia, how did you manage to balance?
To be safe, I was outside of Indonesia when the song first launched. That was a part of the plan.
Oh, okay.
Jadi, kalau it did get dangerous, I was already out of the country. Thankfully, I haven't taken any of the threats seriously. Tapi, you know, ada satu orang yang menemukan nama lengkap saya dan informasi, like, pribadiku. Thankfully, it's old information about myself. So it's not, like, new about my new address or anything. Tapi, you know, it's still masih bikin saya takut.
They release your information online or?
Iya.
Damn. And then what happened? Like,
I reported it to Facebook. Facebook took it down.
Oh, that's good though. So yeah, that song, so Hard, right?
Yeah, So Hard.
The title. Did you produce everything here in
Bali?
In Bali?
Yeah, in Bali.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sama my producer, Rizal Abdul Hadi, lovely man, super talented, really big mentor of mine.
But your music, it's more like a folky and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's So Hard is quite different, right?
Yeah. Usually my music is folky, but I added elements of synth pop to make it more lighthearted. I didn't want this to be a sad song or too serious, you know? Mau bikin mereka like senyum. I want to make people happy. I want to make people dance. And
yeah.
juga synth pop adalah a big part of LGBT culture culture. Budayanya LGBT, it has a huge history in that synth pop type of sound. Jadi it's paying homage to that as well.
Itu kan sudah dirilis dan pas Pride kemarin gitu ya.
Iya.
Itu sengaja milih momen di Pride Month gitu ya.
Iya, sengaja. Karena ini adalah selebrasi tentang mencintaiku dan identitas seksualitas dan identitas jenis kelamin. You know, it's an important month, an important thing to remember every day, tapi we usually focus on it in June. So I wanted to make a stance and to show my pride.
Tapi kalau idenya dan inspirasi lagu itu dari mana?
Inspirasinya dari pertanyaan yang saya ajukan terlalu sering. Pertanyaan yang menunjukkan hubungan romantis saya tidak dihormati. When I am asked questions about my sexuality in a way that showcases that they don't respect it, it's heavy. Di hati saya, it's heavy. Tapi kebanyakan orang nggak pikir sebelum tanya. Oh, I wouldn't ask someone who is straight about their sex life upon meeting them for the first time.
Yeah, that's true.
No, tapi kalau I'm in a relationship with a woman, mereka pikir, I can ask, oh, how do lesbians have sex? That's never appropriate unless we're friends. And then, yeah, okay, we can talk about it.
Did you get that question a lot from Indonesian or?
Semua orang Indonesia, orang asing, semua tanya. Dan especially like straight cisgender men would ask when I was in a relationship with a woman, do you want a threesome? All the time. And a lot of them, I think that nggak bisa have sex unless there's a penis involved.
Yeah.
Can we be this open on the air?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we can?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, so that is why the line in my song, I don't need a dictator.
That's funny though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because they try to tell me that I need it, and I don't need their dick. Or a dictator in my life. I can make my own choices.
If you get that question, like, what is your response or your answer normally?
Jawaban saya?
Usually, ya, jawaban biasanya kalau dapat pertanyaan semacam itu, gimana kamu menjawabnya?
Sekarang, I make them listen to the song.
Oh, yeah?
Iya. Kalau it's online, I kirim lagunya. Kalau in person, I take my phone out and be like, dengar dulu. Tapi kan tidak nyaman ketika saya ditanyai pertanyaan itu. Biasanya saya kaget before. I was just shocked. And I couldn't find what to say karena I just froze. Now, my song says everything I need to say.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And saya sudah lihat videonya.
Yeah.
Dan ada cukup diverse kan?
Yeah.
Orang-orang yang di dalam atau yang ada di video itu gitu. Ada ide spesifik nggak sih kenapa kemudian ada bermacam-macam orang dari luar negeri juga kan?
Karena kehidupan saya dipengaruhi oleh beberapa budaya. I was raised in the US, moved to Indonesia. So it's a very mixed culture and identitas that I have. And then komunitas LGBTQ terdiri dari keragaman. And keragaman dalam seksual dan jenis kelamin, etnisitas, agama, dan kebangsaan. Kita semua berbeda, tapi kita semua punya cinta. And cinta itu adalah yang menyatukan kita. It unites us. So I wanted to show that we all look different. There's not one model that represents someone who is gay, straight, bisexual, non-binary, trans, queer, intersex. It's a diverse community. We look different and we are from everywhere. It is not something limited to the West. It is not something limited to the East. It is at a soul level.
Kan masih banyak komentar semacam itu gitu ya. LGBTIQ+ itu budaya barat dan sebagainya. Kalau kamu menjelaskan ke orang Indonesia yang masih punya pikiran seperti itu kayak gimana?
We had LGBTQ people before the West came to Indonesia. Sebelum the Dutch came. It was a part of our culture in different pockets of the culture. Not every culture had it. Not every tradition had it. Not every tribe, but some did. It was accepted. It was a part of our religious ceremonies. It was part of our history. Tapi sekarang we just want to wipe it all away, ever since colonialism. Same thing happened with Singapore and India. It was archaic laws that the British put to discriminate against orang LGBT. That was the West stopping culture. And now we're trying to reclaim it.
When you move back to Indonesia, apa sih hal yang paling susah gitu untuk kamu adjust gitu setelah tinggal sekian lama di Amerika gitu?
Mungkin di sini jarang ada orang yang out. Saya baru balik dari Amerika, dari Canada, dan di situ just casually saya bisa lihat two men holding hands on the subway di metro. Nggak apa-apa, nggak ada yang peduli, you know? Di New York semua bisnis, dari the big banks to the small restaurants, ada bendera pelangi di luar bisnisnya, showing support. That's what I think I miss, because it's a unanimous and ubiquitous support over there, especially now, daripada di sini where it's unanimous hate almost.
Yeah.
Or not hate, but unanimous discomfort.
And ignorance, yeah.
And ignorance.
Melela, it's the Indonesian term for coming out, by the way.
Oh, melela.
Melela, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, when did you coming out?
I didn't really have an official coming out.
Oh, okay.
Enggak, I just ended up in a relationship with a woman and just was like, hey, ini pacarku.
In Indonesia at that time?
I was in India at that time. Orang tua saya, they were in Indonesia. And then I came back. They met my partner at the time. My partner and I went to vacations with keluarga saya. Sama, you know, like kakek saya, nenek saya, semua.
They don't have a problem with it?
Enggak, they were
Oh,
accepting.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Biasanya kalau di Indonesia extended family mungkin agak susah gitu kali ya.
Mungkin. I have cousins. They don't ask me, but they follow me on Instagram, so they should know. With all I post about. It's up to them whether or not they want to talk about it, but I don't feel the need to hide, and I don't want to.
Sometimes you have to, I don't know, force in a situation where you have to edit yourself. Harus berlaku kayak as straight as possible maybe.
Iya, itu susah karena saya pakai rok, saya pakai gaun. Rambut saya panjang sekali. I look very feminine. Jadi, biasanya I try to show that I am LGBT rather than trying to hide that fact.
But we cannot really see that, right?
Exactly. So usually I wear like a gelang that's like rainbow or things like that, or pins yang ada pelangi to show that. And I find that very important because we need more representation. And even if it's just seeing someone at the mall with that, if there's a kid or teen that is realizing that they might be on the queer spectrum somewhere, it might give them hope.
Did any Indonesian reach out to you, like telling their story to you?
Yeah, quite a few. It's really sweet and also heartbreaking at the same time. Because most of them say that they're in the closet, nggak boleh, they can't come out, takut. And that makes me realize, firstly, how lucky I am that my parents are accepting, my family's accepting. And secondly, it makes me realize that something needs to be done to change the way we view orang LGBT in Indonesia. Karena we all know someone who's gay, whether or not they're out. We all know someone who is on the queer spectrum somewhere. Either personally, in our family, tetangga, they're everywhere. We are everywhere.
Kalau di Bali gitu ya, kalau secara komunitas kan, there's a lot of people from outside Indonesia, right?
Yeah.
And it make easier in a way, right?
Jauh lebih gampang di situ. Lebih mudah. Karena there is that big international influence. Ada orang LGBT yang mempunyai restoran, yang punya venues. So that's nice because that becomes a community space. There's a really great coffee shop named Revive di Ubud. Fabulous coffee, also fabulous place to hang out, owned by Oliver James, a queer musician.
Okay.
So yeah, kalau you're in Ubud, please go there.
You're there, right?
Yes, I'm there quite
Most of the
often.
time, right?
Maybe once a week.
We can talk about your music more, I guess. You have one album, right?
Yeah.
Already come out? When is
Yeah.
it?
Time to Shine, it released tahun lalu. Juni tahun lalu. It's okay.
So Hard is a single.
Yeah.
Will there be any album?
Yeah, definitely. Pasti.
Rencananya kapan akan keluar?
The goal is December
This
tahun
year.
ini.
Oh, wow.
Tapi kayaknya we're not going to make it. I'm working with 3 different producers on different projects right now. Tapi I'm aiming for December and if not, early 2020.
Is there any certain theme or sound that you want?
Still folk, you know.
Okay.
Like my last album was purely folk, all acoustic. But I want this to be folk with a little bit of electronic in it.
Any particular musician that you want to collaborate with? Maybe Indonesian or international?
Tashura. Have you heard of Tashura?
No.
Oh, they're from Jogja. They're a super amazing chamber pop band. Brilliant. I saw them live in Bali at Bali Spirit Fest. I was playing and so were they. They are amazing live. They are a talented pair. Sorry, talented group of 5 people.
Any gig coming up?
Gigs? Di mana?
Di Jakarta atau di
In
Bali?
Jakarta. Secret. I can't say anything yet.
We're gonna look for that.
Okay.
Okay, and then last question. What is love to you?
What is love to me? Love is the ability to connect with another person or people. It is to bridge the gap between the differences in which we just feel like we can relate. And in that relation, feel completely comfortable with ourselves as someone else sees who we are. How does that translate to
That's so
Indonesian?
hard to find, though. But
Yeah.
that kind of person, right?
The more I'm single now, and the more I've been single, the more I've realized that I find glimpses of it in every conversation.
Kesamaan musik dan cinta, keduanya adalah bahasa yang universal. Both are common language to all nations, tribes, colors, religions, races, and people. Dan memang gak seharusnya mendiskriminasi. By the way, kalau punya saran, komentar, atau ingin berbagi cerita, boleh banget email ke podcast@kbrprime.id dan tulis Love Buzz untuk subjek emailnya.
Love Buzz, membicarakan perkara yang tidak dibicarakan ketika berbicara perkara cinta.
It's not enough, so hard. It's only okay, 'cause it makes you hard. So go and lust and fantasize, but nothing more. Despite your tries, I don't need a dictator. I don't need a dictator to tell me what I need.
Kunjungi kbrprime.id untuk menyimak beragam podcast lainnya dari KBR.